Okay, welcome back, and here we have a problem dealing with a circle and an arc. This time we are given the length of the arc. In terms of pi, it's 18 pi, which really means 18 times pi inches. And instead of asking for the circumference, as we did in the previous problem, number 8, they want to know the radius. Well, let's go back to our original formula that we had talked about. And that is that the circumference is equal to 2 times pi times the radius. We don't know the radius, and we don't know the circumference. So this formula we can't use until we at least know either the circumference or the radius. Well, they want you to find the radius. So if we can get the circumference first, then we'll be able to find out the radius from that by just plugging into this formula. Well, let's go ahead and rewrite this formula. If I divide both sides of this equation by 2 pi, times pi, the 2 pi's will cancel, and now I have r equals c over 2 pi. And that's what we're going to use. Sometimes people like to plug in the numbers first and then do the rearranging, but this way all you have to do is plug in numbers and the answer is right there. So our goal is to find out what c is, plug it in, and that'll give us r. So let's go back to what we did in problem 8. Okay, so the first thing we did was we looked at the arc AB, which was a portion of the entire circle. And remember that the ratio of the angle that that arc traces, in this case we have a 90-degree angle, it's a right angle. The ratio of that to the whole circle is 90 over 360. That's going to be the same ratio as the length of the arc, 18 pi over the length of the circumference, which is, I'm just going to put in c because we don't know what it is yet. So here we are with something that we can easily cross multiply. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so when we do that, first of all, we end up with 90 times c on the left side, and then 360 times 18 pi on the right side. So now we want to simplify the right-hand side of the equation by multiplying 360 times 18 pi. We're going to leave pi as pi. That's the only way I know of to say it, but let's not substitute anything for pi yet, and I'll explain why in a little bit. Okay, so when we multiply the 360 times 18, we get 6,480, and as I said, let's leave pi the way it is. Now we've got to divide both sides by 90. And that just gives us that the circumference is equal to 72 pi. Now again, hold on for just a minute before we do any substituting of pi, and I'll show you what we can do with that. Let's come back over here to the left side of the viewing area, and notice we want to find r. We just found c, so let's just plug in the value we got for c in place of it in the equation. So now we have 72 pi over 2 pi is equal to r. Notice that the pi's will cancel from the top and bottom. So now you see why we kept pi in the original answer. Made things come out a lot easier. So then all we have to do now is take 72 divided by 2. We end up with 36 equal to r. So the radius in this case is 36. And it's in inches. Okay, so that's how you would do that kind of problem. Just takes another step, but a little bit more complex, but as long as you got the previous one, you should be able to handle that one.